mistake women make. They pick the worst time to ask for the raise. There's these really subtle things, like you don't do it on a Monday before your boss's coat is off, before they had their second cup of coffee. You don't, that's not the time where you push the butterflies down, muster up what you can and stomp into there and say, I really want this extra money. That's not it. So you want to be very careful about timing and understand the financial piece, the fiscal point of the year. Can they even write the check? Understand the emotions and the psychology around your boss in terms of when you're going to ask. And as intuitive as women are, they miss this critical piece. Because we're all wound up about it. We're all wound up about it. And we're all afraid we're going to be told no, right? No, you're not going to get that money. And then what does that mean? We're failures, or we're not good enough, or whatever rolls around in our head there. Another mistake women make is they're not able to throw out that first number and not flinch. I remember when I was in my consulting practice many, many years ago, I had a client from Intel. He was brilliant. He was like a marketing engineer kind of guy. He had a background in finance and in marketing. He was deadly. And I think it was second session in, and he leaned across the table at Starbucks and he said, "This is really bothering me and I have to say this and I'm terrified you're going to be insulted or take this the wrong way." And I said, "No, what?" He said, "Oh my God, you are so good at this. You are so good at what you do and you're too cheap." And I was great. I recovered from it beautifully and I said, "Really? How much should I charge?" "You are a big, strong man from Intel with a marketing background. How much should I charge?" And he told me. And I charged it. And I have no problem with it. And that was a lot of years ago. A few years later, he rolled out of a job, and he called me. And there was this odd thing where his wife never met me, but liked me. She would say, "I don't know what y'all talk about. I don't know what goes on there. I don't care. I know when you come back after talking to Elizabeth, you are so much better and easier to live with. So go pay that woman next month's check for her services and go." Several years later, he calls me, he said, "I fell out of the job. I'm a little upset." I said, "That's okay." And he said, "Tammy told me to call you." I said, "Okay." And he said, I said, "But you know how it is with my program. Once you go through it for 2 months, you're done. It's a repeatable process. I've really taught you everything you want that you need to know. I don't believe in endless psychology. You know how I feel about this. You're fine." He said, No, I insist. I want to go through the program again." I said, "Okay." I said, "And by the way, I'm more expensive. Because I heard what you said a few years ago at Starbucks." And he said, "Oh, this is going to come back to haunt me." It was a beautiful thing. So to be able to throw out that number, to be able to say, "My services are X and not blank," to be able to say, go into that negotiation room and review time and say, I did some research, not you feel, not you think. I did some research. My position pays this. I fall in this range. And this is where I'd like to be. And to throw out that number, you know when the number's high enough because you're anxious. And if that means you got to practice it in front of the mirror or practice it driving in the car where you can't see yourself or whatever it is, to keep saying it, that flinch number, that's where you want to be. It's kind of like going to the gym. It's like exercising a muscle. And then after a few weeks you go, "Hey, look at that. It's coming back. I thought it was gone forever." It's the same thing. You're going to exercise that. You're going to say that number, and you're going to keep saying that number. Say it to your cat. I had one woman that talked to her cat endlessly. I said, "Talk to the cat. Tell the cat how much you want to make over and over and over again until you're not laughing or throwing up." Then we got it. Then we got it. The other thing women are not able to do, it was the biggest thing I learned 15 years ago. I was a headhunter, a very prominent headhunter in high tech. And it was really fun back then because I got to negotiate people's salaries. And it was fantastic because here's how it went when you got job offers back then. You knew what the person's salary was, but you didn't disclose that to the hiring manager, to the client. You didn't disclose that. So at the very end, when they decided that they wanted Bob or Sally, whoever it was, at the very end, you called the client. How did the interviews go? Great, great, great. We want to hire Bob. Okay, great. So then there's this silence, and I go, my guy needs 95, not a penny more. He needs 95. I'm not paying that, Elizabeth. That is ridiculous. That is highway robbery. 70,000, 70,000. I'm paying him a bit more. Now remember, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how much Bob makes. No, my guy needs 90. I'll tell you why. The guy's got the best turnover numbers in Silicon Valley. He's going to do fabulous for you. You know that. If he hires a team, none of them are going to quit. He needs 90, every penny. That I'm not paying that. 80 and not a penny more, Elizabeth. This is highway robbery. And I know every time you say this, your fee goes up because you're paid on the percentage of the my guy needs 90. I'm telling you. You know what? Let me tell you something. You don't take Bob, I'm calling Google, I'm calling Microsoft, I'm calling Intel as soon as I hang up the phone. So I don't really care. Bob's going to get 90. With or without you, who cares about my fee? I'll even eat part of my fee because I really believe in Bob and I really like you as a client. Okay, Elizabeth, you got it. But that moment, before he says you got it, I got to sit in that silence. And I got to sit. And I got to rock back like this. And I look confident, but inside I'm going, oh, God, I really hope Bob can pull this out. Because I don't know, you know. So then I call Bob and be like, I got 90. He'd be like, you're kidding me. You got me a $25,000 raise? Yes, and you had better. Because I believe in all this crazy nonsense I'm doing. That's how I got my start. That's how I got it, negotiating these big names in Silicon Valley.